You are watching City Pulse at 6, and here are some of the other stories we have for you tonight. Buying a house, it is the biggest single investment most of us will ever make. But imagine the nightmare when your dream home turns out to be a dud. Our consumer specialist Elaine Young is here with the first of a three-part undercover series on home inspectors and how some of them may be giving you questionable advice. Elaine.
Well, Russ, buying a house is so overwhelming, especially for first-timers. So many consumers rely on that inspection report for final peace of mind. However, it can be a shocking wake-up call when that report doesn't tell you the whole story, as one new homeowner found out the hard way. Well, we went undercover posing as potential home buyers, and you'll be amazed at what we weren't told. Now, just a note, I want to point out that we protected the identity of the inspector we hired because he is just an example of the potential for problems. What did the listing actually say?
Well, it said fantastic rancher, backing onto a green belt, totally updated, roof 2 weeks old, nice. And that's why I was very interested in the house.
So you did what you thought was the right thing. You got an inspector. And what did that inspector tell you about this house?
As far as he was concerned, the house was fine.
So Malcolm Wheeler and his family moved into their $440,000 North Van home. But on the first day there, he started noticing things. A twisted window, an out-of-shape door frame, things that weren't mentioned in his inspection report. Malcolm soon realized something was very wrong. There's an engineer's report, an electrician's report, a heating consultant's report, a roofing consultant's report, all confirming the massive problems with this house. Problems that in many cases are obvious and glaring and would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix.
You can see that the wall is out approximately 3 inches. You can actually put your finger in the window here and there's a good half-inch gap all the way down. The window's not even sitting into the side of the house.
You've just pointed out a few things initially in the first few minutes. Could any other home inspector, potentially miss these?
You've got 2 warning signs now. You should be really looking. So no, you shouldn't miss it at that point.
There's no excuse.
There's absolutely nothing, no.
So we decided to hire our own home inspector from the Yellow Pages. Take a look at what he found and, more importantly, what he failed to mention. Let's start with the roof.
The life expectancy is probably about 15 to 20 years on that side of the roof. So I have no reasons to think that other than, say, a normal leak, you shouldn't have to replace that for 10 years.
Actually, according to our roofing expert, this roof is an uneconomical endeavor to save. The only solution is to re-roof. Now to the attic. The inspector we hired did physically climb up and look inside.
There's air movement up there. If it was stagnation and damp, and there's mildew and wet, and that isn't the case. Okay, so don't be overly concerned.
So there's enough that it wouldn't be a concern?
There is enough, yeah.
But we didn't even have to go into the attic to see that wasn't the case at all.
Ooh, we got mold problems. Obviously, the attic is not ventilated.
But likely the most significant problem in this house is the foundation.
There is some erosion which is taking place underneath the slab itself. Without a doubt, you do have this settlement. You can feel it on the floors. You must have felt it.
So in the end, from looking at the foundation and the attic and everything, you recommend that it's a good purchase?
All I can say is that overall, it's favorable.
So altogether, there's about 4 cracks all the way up on this foundation.
According to a structural engineer, re-leveling the house would be a major undertaking. How much would you say it would cost to repair this house up to standards, if it's even possible?
I would say that I wouldn't waste the money. I would start over.
I was heartbroken. This is our first house in Canada, and I was hoping to live a dream, a Canadian dream.
And the list of problems doesn't end there. The engineers also found 20 ceiling beams above the living room had been cut, and they recommend never letting snow accumulate on the roof because the roof could actually collapse from the weight of that snow. Now, our inspector didn't mention it, and neither did Malcolm Wheeler's. It's important to point out here that there are no provincial standards or license requirements for home inspectors. In fact, I could start a business and call myself a home inspector. Tomorrow night, I'll have more details on that, and also we'll talk about how confusing it can be for potential home buyers to figure it all out, Russ.
It's a scary venture for many people. We'll look forward to tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Elaine.